Beloved star, warmest welcome to Elven Pod 78. And I've been speaking the last while about manifesting through the Stargate and also about the realm of holiest action, of truest action for the dawn, the actions of the soul star and liberating into those. And that stargate that is formed is actually, it's formed in co-creation with the earth. When you bring your soul star to earth and your light fuses with hers, this sphere of bioplasma is generated, which is then your stargate of manifestation. And in truth, you are the first aspect to materialize or manifest through that stargate. That's the first arrival, if you like. But then that is a dynamic stargate that exists. And it is, if you like, also your experience of your own dreaming field, your own dreaming body, and your light and your power of limitless creation as an aspect of the light of the great central sun. And with this week and with the passing of the Beltane Stargate that we've been through in the Northern Hemisphere, this is, and the Samhain Stargate in the Southern, this is a Stargate moment. So we have our own Stargate power, and it's mirrored by the greater Stargate, if you like, the greater earthly celestial Stargate. And it's a moment in our ascension right now to become aware of our capacity. Now, this is our embodied capacity. It's the capacity of our body, soul, consciousness to be that generative principle of limitless creation, to dream reality into being, to create it into being, and to remember ourselves as the full magnificence of the light of the great central sun, of that source radiance that is the heart of all, and that is the limitlessness of infinite creation. And all of that is felt within the bioplasma of the Stargate of our presence, where we fuse with earth. We intuit in that as we fuse our true presence with earth, and that bioplasma of that Stargate is generated, that we can both dream the Stargate into being, dream our own presence through the Stargate. Who would I love to be? Who would I love to self-express, to manifest as for this dawn? And feeling the aspects of us, the higher flows that want to come through this gateway into presence, but also that it's our capacity to manifest realities beyond our own presence, to dream reality into being in co-creation with the earth. And we've been doing this timelessly. This is a great, great record within the earth. There's actually the record of our own soul star creation and power of manifestation and limitless star creation power within the earth in the form of the elder and the master crystals that we've long since star-seeded here. And in a way, you can see them as the solidification of the energy of the Stargate, the solidification over long aeons of creational focus, where we maintain these Stargates of pure source creation energy, gateways of pure creation. And we manifested actual physical crystals of earth through this continuum of creation. It's one of the aspects of what formed through our presencing through these long aeons. And those are physical crystals. They are elder and master crystals within the earth. And we can actually attune to them in order to remind ourselves of the depth of the power of creation within the love that we are, of the mastery that dwells within us. And this that is so natural to us, which is to be able to dream reality into being. And this is very much the energy of the now, very much the energy of this moon, which is to... So I just love to speak about that moment when you are dreaming, imagining something into being. Now, when we look at teachings of manifestation and so forth, we're often told that we need the thought, the energy, the feeling in order to manifest the external reality. So there can be a sense that you're thinking of something that you want, or that you're thinking of something that you need and something you want to receive. Now, in truth, from the seventh dimensional perspective of our source creational power, you're not thinking about something you want, and it's not about receiving. You're actually in fashioning forth that sacred imagining in your being of what you'd love to create, what you'd love to dream into being. You're actually gifting. That is, and it's your first action. It's your first dimension of action, if you like, in this plane, in this world, is that dreaming, that imagining, which is a gifting of the essence, the vibration, the signature, the deep thought, feeling, the deep music of your being that comes forth in that sacred imagining of what you'd love to create here, of what you'd love to manifest here. So in that, you're actually fashioning forth within the depths of your being a gift that is given to earth. And in that, that's where the receiving comes. She gives back, if you like, 1,000-fold. She generates, and the dimensions generate, the sacred hologram that is the feedback loop of that dimensional dreaming within you. So when we come to that place where we've generated that Stargate by fusing with the earth, we've arrived here in presence, and then we have this first dimension of action, of dreaming reality into being. What do we do? What do we choose? What do we dream into being? And in truth, while there are all sorts of things we might feel that we want or need to dream individually or for the collective into being, when we look to our deepest of all creational impulse and longing, it is to create from that which we are, to bring that which we are fully to this earth, to create that sacred dimensionality, to create that in co-creation with her. And that attunement through the Stargate of presence, through the great central sun, the light in our hearts, is letting ourselves access these purest dimensions of creation, of what we would love to continue to self-express, the realm we would love to generate, which from the Elven perspective is actually about bringing the light of our home world here. The Stargate of presence becomes also the Stargate of the manifestation, even of the trees, of the flowers, of the waters and so forth, the crystals of our home world, to actually generate that in co-creation with Earth. So opening, though, there is no limit on this. It is that state of limitless creation, opening this moon and this week to that limitless power within you to dream, and realizing that as your first gift. That is your gift, that is your realm of action, and it's a realm that is sacred. And more we need the focus, we need the attention there, we need all of ourselves given to that part of us. And you may feel drawn increasingly, and I believe it will become increasingly important for us to filter where our attention, where our awareness goes, because our thought feeling dimension is that first action of creation. And when it's given to realities outside of the soul star dream of what you'd really love to create here for the dawn, your grandest, most powerful, purest longings of creation here, the really immense, truest dream of what you'd love to imagine from that infinite place within you into being, that you need all of your attention. You need as much as possible of your attention being sourced back, being drawn back for this. So those are the dimensions that you get drawn into, distracted into. You'll sometimes be co-creating an awareness. Something will come in and it's a mirror, it's a hologram in your process of manifestation of this sacred dimensionality you're bringing here. So it's not that everything outside us is a distraction, but it's noticing your intention with your attention. If you're sending your attention somewhere out of fear or inability to be present with yourself, distraction, then it will not give you that holographic feedback loop of your dimension of sacred creation, it will actually in some way lead you away from yourself. So it's more and more noticing the value, the incredible, intense value of our attention and where that's going, and more freeing it up for this powerful, primordial, sacred activity, which is dreaming earth into being, dreaming reality into being, dreaming all the realms into being. That is where our power is gathered back to. So a theme for the next while is to look at where you might need to just draw. When we have detoxes, we might have a dietary one, but this is more about our attention and information and where we're taking in information from. So really coming into resonance with that deeper and greater act of simplicity, of your own generative power of imagining within you. Giving time and space for that, which is your innate and natural power to create reality. Because once your soul star has fused with earth and that stargate is formed, what you dream into being will manifest through that stargate. That is the natural law, if you like. So this is the time to really ask ourselves, as that stargate reforges through this moon, what is my purest and most powerful dimension of creational imagination and longing and dreaming? What am I really here to dream into being, to give my attention, my imagination to? And whether it comes as more the inner nature of the reality, so you're seeing inner crystalline structures of earth and dreaming and imagining perhaps her dimensions of nature. I see the golden oaks restoring from my homeworld, Evalianon. I see the white starlight crystals restoring within the continuum here. I see the sky crystals igniting. These are aspects, if you like, on the crystalline inner dimensionality. And then we have the dreaming on the external, flashes of deep awareness, of imagining the timeline in its more concrete ways. And we may get that kind of imagining too, just dreaming ourselves into being our next creation or the next level of ourselves, but really coming to that which feels most powerful, most pure, most guided by the limitlessness within you as that light of the great central sun of source, that capacity of the most magnificent, beyond limitless creation. So this is a moment to lift the limits, to lift the bounds, to call back your attention, all of your power, to this act of dreaming, of creating reality into being. So much love. Eshyana Tora Thayan, Nanarea, Ishyara, Ton I. And I shall see you soon. Farewell for now.